right, and a good Sunday to you. Welcome to another episode of JD's Deep Cut Sunday Tracks. Again, where we're going to delve into obscure bands, obscure albums. Some might not be so obscure, but we might, showcase an album that doesn't get a whole lot of love, like they say. And I know I always say that today's a special one. Today's a different one. Okay, today. Talking about an album released 51 years ago. Okay, what has not been said about this album? Not one of their go-to albums for a lot of fans. It was my third album I heard from them, but very dark album at the time. Did not know what they were creating, what they were about to create. All the bands that were going to be influenced by this album and this band. Little did they know that they were going to create a whole revolution, a whole movement in musical history. Okay, Black Sabbath debut album, Black Sabbath, released February 13th, 1970. As you can see, I got a different layout today due to circumstances beyond my control, but will do my best to make this an interesting episode. So, again, what has not been said about this album? First time I heard this album, that opening chord, what they call the devil's chord, according to writers, Tony Iommi with that dark, reverby, echoey guitar chord that he starts with. It's a sharp, I believe, but that rain coming in, that storm, dark cloud, pretty scary. Okay, but in essence, just a great intro to a song, to an album. Okay, they were just playing what they loved, wanted to be different at the time. So much for all the flower power and the goody love songs. They wanted to be different, and they dared be different, and became a success at it. Okay, but yeah, this opening song, Black Sabbath, an opus for me, just influenced everybody. Okay, this album comes from the heart. It's a hard rock blues album. At the time, that term, I believe, was coined already in 1969 by Steppenwolf, heavy metal. But at that time, it was innocence at its best. People were just playing rock and roll. Some people were just delving into different styles of it. Again, Black Sabbath was just a rock and roll band. That's how they looked at themselves. But, with that twist of they want it to be different. They want it to be darker. They want it to be heavier. Like Iron Butterfly always says, heavy. And they did accomplish it. Okay. Roger Bain produced this album. Again, this producer was not chosen by the band. It was chosen by the record label, Vertigo Records. And the whole beauty of this is that, the packaging of the album, that's a whole story. The different versions, US, North American versions, as opposed to the European version, song tracks, selection of songs were different. I didn't hear Evil Woman until years later. I heard it the first time on a box set I bought of Black Sabbath. It was on there. Read the liner notes on it, read the history. That was on the Euro version, the Vertigo. Great song too, very bluesy. You got to remember, metal derives from the blues, from the Southern Delta blues. John Lee Hooker, all those Lead Belly, all those guitar players. That's where the metal rock and roll came from. Okay, and Iommi will tell you himself. Was influenced by all the American blues, those Southern Delta guitar players. Great. Okay, so that's where metal derived from, or heavy rock, if you will. But yeah, I will showcase the album cover, gatefold a little bit. But yeah, again, my favorite track on this album is actually a 3-track song, Wasp, Warning, Behind the Wall of Sleep. Okay, I love that. It's just an opus, 12-minute opus, of blues guitar driven, bass thumping, and the beauty of this is that all the members were very unique. You had Ozzy belting out the vocals, you had Geezer thumping out those bass lines, writing the lyrics, a lot of the music, but it was a collaboration of all four, which are all still alive, by the way. It would be nice if they got together and played this whole album in its entirety. That would be great, wouldn't it? But they are Ozzy. He's. I'm glad he's still with us. But it's a little bit slower, of course, as we all age. We'll get there. Okay. But yeah, Black Sabbath, the song, just dark, heavy, guitar-driven bass, the drums. Bill Ward's drumming is just amazing. I love Bill Ward as a drummer. He's one of the best time signatures as well. Changes. In Paranoid, or in Iron Man, there's a mid part where there's a change when it goes down, 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 and then it goes into this different arrangement. People don't realize how hard that is, okay, to master. They were doing it in 1970. I think they released Paranoid album as well. So they were just belting out albums. Okay. People always say, all the singers Sabbath went through this and that. They're all great in their own right. Okay. You cannot compare. Vocal styles are different. Ozzy I love. A lot of people say, Black Sabbath, it's with Ozzy, that's it. No. Dio was a great vocalist for them. Tony Martin was a great singer and vocalist for them as well. And even Ian Gillan, who only made one album, The Born Again, but that album is untouchable. Great album. But again, happy birthday to Black Sabbath, self-titled debut album. Okay, haunting cover. Lorraine, I believe, is the model's name. Great cover on that album. It was taken on the Thames, I believe, around there. Okay? But enough with the words and get to listen to this album on its birthday, 51 years ago. Okay? That's what we're here for. I'll put the link to my favorite song or songs. Okay? So you can listen and celebrate on Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. Okay? Geezer Butler's a big Rams fan, it looks like. Okay? But we will see you on the next one. Short but sweet. Happy birthday, Black Sabbath, 1970.